Okay, let's see if we can do this now. This is a new episode of Let's Linux. I'm Budrich and we call this episode Polybar Dynamic Title. We will continue now with our Polybar setup. We should first start Polybar with the start script that we have in our script folder, Polybar start. And there we have a polybar, and we should also, because now it displays hook 1 here, we want the listener script active also, the Python script. And if you haven't watched the previous, this is like part 2 or 3 or whatever of this Polybar series, so if you're just jumping in here, this I recommend you watch the previous episodes in this series. i3listen.py, and now our title hook is active, kind of, you know. First thing I would like to do is we get some errors here from Polybar. These are some weird Unicode symbols. I don't will not bother with that, but I should have removed them before, but whatever. But let's remove this X window display, so we only get our own hook module here. We don't need duplicate titles. And also I will disable these two networking modules here, because then we will at least get rid of those errors. And now it only displays our hook module. And another thing we could change right away is that, because the hook module, the initial value of that is hook 1, which is this, and that just echoes hook 1. It's better if the initial value is display title, because then when we reload Polybar it will display the title and not hook 1. Another thing we can do right away, or maybe I should say what we are gonna do today. We will make this title useful and dynamic. I call it dynamic because it will, if we click this title right now, if I click it, nothing happens. If I right click it, then it activates hook 3, which echoes hook 3 like this, and if I left click it activates display title hook here. But I want some totally different actions when we click. When I left click, I want it to display the class name and the instance name instead of the title. And if I left click again, it goes back. So we will kind of toggle modes, display modes. And I want to be able to right click to get the content that is displayed. So if I right click the title, I want the title in my clipboard. If I right click the class, I want that in my clipboard, and the instance, same thing. And these actions, they are too advanced to define here in the Polybar config. You can add the clicking actions inside the script instead, and there are several benefits of doing so. You can do more advanced things, and you can also it's also more reliable, because these so comment these out or remove these 2 lines. Then while we are here, we could copy this line because we will use it. Now I will open the display title script that displays the title. I copied that line here, we'll need it later. It just echoes the output here of i3get. If I would change this T to a C, then it will echo the class instead of the title, and I, that is instance. So this is how we will get the information that we want to display. Change it back to a T, and then I will do this. I will put this output in a variable and call that variable AWT. It's active window title. You could name the variable anything, and then we could do this echo. This will do the exact same thing. It will just display the title now, but it will display the content of the variable AWT, which is the title in this case. Okay. I want to show you some tricks here before we start making the real script, so to speak. There's one thing, this is a Polybar specific, it's not bash. Let's make a string here. You can anything, string anything, whatever. And now it echoes string anything. Just a stupid thing here, it doesn't update now or anything. You can add formatting to the output by typing percentage curly brackets and then the type of formatting. Let's change the foreground color, that's F, and then you just type in a color value. We could do FF0FF, it's a classic color, magenta. And then you have to close the formatting after where you want it to end. So if I put an F and a dash here, then it closes this coloring, so not every foreground element will be pink. And if I would close it here, then only that part of the string is pink. And you can also, there are more formattings, you can read about them in the Polybar wiki, but you can write a B, which stands for background, and then we could make that, let's make it green. And then you have to close that tag as well in the same fashion, just B and a dash. And dash means default. So now we have a green background and the first part here of the string is pink and the other have the default color, which is white. It's really hard to see here, but I just want to demo how this works because we will use it later. But there's one more formatting option that doesn't really affect the visual appearance, but it gives, you can add actions. So let's, if I just write here action, that's nothing, it's just a string, it doesn't do anything. But with this formatting tag, A, that stands for action, and then you have to define which kind of action. 1, that's left click, 2, middle click, 3, right click, 4, scroll up, 5, scroll down, or maybe scroll up, scroll down, or reverse, but whatever. Let's make a left click action here by typing A1, and then you enter a colon, and then you enter the command that you want to execute when you left click. We can make an i3 run, iPav control, then ePav control. And I have made tutorials and videos about i3 run, so I'm not going to explain this here right now. And then you also have to close the action here, because just with the as with the color formatting, you could have different actions for different parts of the output string and so on. If I save here now and if I click this guy, then it will execute this action here. Let's see if it works. There it and if I click it again, since it's i3 run, which minimize or hides active window, it toggles it. So you can make a really nice little launcher here, or if you want to execute htop, for example, you could do that or whatever. And now we are getting somewhere here with our script. How did we want it? We wanted to, every time you left click this title, whatever is in the title, it should switch mode. So we will have the same action for left clicking no matter what is displayed. And one way to do this is to do this. Yeah, of course we could, yeah, we will have the same thing happening. Let's put this at the bottom of the script here. And we can remove this i3 run action. And then we can create a variable called output, which is which will contain what we want to output, since we will have different outputs depending on which mode we are displaying. Either the output is AWT, or it is the class and the instance. And then we do this output. Now it displays the string and it have this action, but the action isn't defined yet. We will define it right away. And the action that we always want for left clicking, we will use Polybar's hooks here, and this, now it becomes really confusing maybe. Module name, I have to go back here and look. Title hook is the name of the module. And a hook number, and we will create a new hook here now, or we could modify this hook 2 or hook 3, or however you want to look at it, and run the display title script. But this time we pass in an argument, switch. You could I just named it switch here, it doesn't matter. So now, and also 3 here, since this is the third hook in the list. So now if I click, then it launches this script, but this time with an argument, and that argument is switch. But we have nothing going on, nothing checking here, so it will just run as normal. But if we would add here, if $1 equals switch, then do something. So if this script is run from hook number 3, then switch will be passed in, and then what we write between this ifs here will be executed. And the thing we want to do is switch modes. So we can think about it like that. We have a normal mode that displays the title, and then we can call the other mode advanced. And that mode will display the class and the instance instead. So we should also define this mode somehow, and I do it like this. I have created a new script in my i3as suite that's called i3var, that lets you set or get a variable that is persistent as long as the i3 session you're currently in is running, so to speak. It works. It's a mark on a hidden window actually. PB title mode. So here we define a variable. The value of this variable will be the value of the i3var variable PB title mode. And if switch is passed, then we want to switch this variable, this mode. So then we have to ask again here, if mode, and as I said, we can name the modes advanced and normal for now. So if the mode is advanced, then change the mode to normal, and then we have to set this variable instead of getting. Write the name of the variable, PB title mode, and PB title, that stands for Polybar title mode, whatever. And if the mode is advanced, set the mode to normal. And we also change the value of the mode variable to normal. If the mode isn't advanced and switch is passed into this script, then we change the mode to advanced, of course. So if it's not advanced, if it's normal, or if it's empty also, if it's not defined, then it changes the mode to advanced. I think it will, if you're not really following now, it's okay. I think it will become clear soon. Advanced. And now every time we click, it will change the value of this i3 var. It will also change the mode here, but it will not. It will still output the same thing. So now every time this script is run, and both if we click it and or if it's activated by our listener script, it checks here now for what the mode is. If mode is advanced, then output, we could just write this now for now. I will fix this. Advanced. If the mode is not advanced, then the output is active window title. So here it checks what kind of mode it is and set the output variable to what we want, and then it displays this. It echoes out the output with this clicking formatting applied. So it will have the same actions no matter what output it is. So if I save here now, it says advanced because advanced mode was activated. I was playing around with this before I started the video. And now if I click here, it changes mode, and when the mode is changed, it changes the output, and but we still have the same clicking going on here. And as you can see, I moved this AWT i3 get here into, because we don't need to get the title if we're not in the normal mode, or yeah. And by doing this, we save some processing power, since it's unnecessary to do this i3 get if we don't have to. But we should also now define our for the advanced mode, and then we just make an AWC active window class, and this time we make an i3 get -r -c, and we also create one for the instance that we can call AWI. And of course, I think you get it here now. In this output, we just print in AWC for class. Then we can make some spaces here, because like this, AWI. And now if I click, now it displays the class and the instance. If I click again, it displays the title. We are getting somewhere. The last thing we wanted was to add that when we right click the class or the instance or the title, we want that information in our clipboard. And to do so, we could just do this, but I will make it a little more dynamic soon, you will see. A3, that's right click. And then we add the command here. And this is a way to put something in your clipboard. Echo. And here I have to use these single quotes here to be sure that the whole title, because we want to echo the title, and then we pipe that, because you see here inside this command you can add anything you could print on a terminal, you can put here in between the command, or yeah. We pipe this echo, we pipe this title to xclip, and xclip is it lets you manipulate and use selections and put them in your clipboard or in your primary clipboard or whatever it's called. So if you write this, we also, this is very important, to close the command with a colon, and then we have to close the action tag here. And now if we left click the string, it will switch modes, But on the title, if we right click that, if everything is done correctly here now, if I right click this guy, it should say, if I right click this guy, it puts the output or the title in our clipboard. But you see here, I have to echo the title into this xclip. And I wanted the same, we could of course just copy paste this and change it independently for each of these, but it becomes really cluttered, the script file here. And one easy solution to this is to copy this this line, and then we define a function that creates this clipboard variable, and we can put that at the top of the script, because a function, clipboarder, we can call the function, you can call it anything, then you put double parentheses like this and curly brackets to, and inside here you define the function. This function, it isn't read when you run the script, so don't worry about that. It will only execute when you call the function. And the function, just like a script, you can pass in arguments to a function, and they are named the same thing, so this might also be a bit confusing. But instead of using AWT here, I will put in $1, and $1 is the $1 of the function and not the script itself. And then we replace this output here with our function instead. And then you have to do this clipboarder, and here as an argument to clipboarder we use AWT. I think we can put it in quotes again here just to be safe, like that. And if I save here now, it will appear as a nothing has happened. If I click the right click this, I have the title. But the nice thing here is that we can use this this function for our class and our instance also, just by adding it like this. If I click this guy now and right click the class, we got the class name in our clipboard. If I right click the instance, we got that in our clipboard. And of course you could add color formatting and whatever, but not right now. I'm pretty happy with how the script is. It's already useful. One thing which can be, yeah, it's a matter of taste maybe, but you see we get these quotes here. That is from the title. It's the output of i3 get. It always puts the title in the quotes because it can contain spaces and whatever. We can clean that output from all double quotes if we wanted to by doing this. This is a built-in bash thing. You can manipulate strings or variables by putting them in square brackets like this, or curly brackets, then a normal slash, 2 of them, because that means replace everything. One means replace the first instance you find, 2 replace everything, and we want to replace quotes, and we have to put a backslash here, otherwise it will read this quote as a literal quote and close the string here, and we don't want that. If we put it in with a backslash, then it will, yeah, this is how you write it. And now it will replace all quotes with nothing, because we have nothing here. So if I save now the quotes are gone. I could also, of course, if I put in here A, then it will replace quotes with the character A, and then we get A's where the quotes were. But like that. Now we have cleaned the output, we have added clipboard actions, and we have created a function. A lot of things have been done in this video, and if if it was difficult to follow everything, just look at the files which you can find in the GitHub repo that is linked in the show notes, and take some time and really investigate what's going on in this script and how it calls with the hook going back and forth and everything. You will get it. And it's very, very good, this, you know. It's just as I told you in the last video, instead of having a script looping constantly, this just updates when we request it to update. And this is such a nice way to get the instance and class. Instead of opening up wmctrl and typing that and copy it from there, now you can just click what's the instance of this guy. Get it there, right click, and then you got it, and you can just paste it in your i3 config or whatever and make a window rule very easy. So I hope that this video has been both an inspiration and maybe even you will just use this exact thing in your workflow. But in my opinion, it's pretty nice, this default bar that you get with Polybar. It's a good design on it in my opinion, but the colors are a bit off. This gray doesn't match my blue, and also i3 here, even if it does somehow match the color theme. What I'm getting at is, in the next video I will talk about colors, and I think I will only talk about colors and other things like wallpapers, colors and fonts, and give you my 2 cents on that thing. And the video after that we will look into how to unify the colors, so we can use one file to read colors for everything like Polybar, terminal, i3, window decoration. You can we will look into that, but I will first make a little disclaimer video when I give you my thoughts about these things, because it's quite, I have some things to say. I want to thank you for watching this video. I hope I see you. Subscribe. Have a good day. Bye 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 bye.